So I made a thing, and it's called a power ball, and it's pretty freaking sweet. Now you might be wondering, how'd this all start? Well, it starts with my teacher, Mr. Anderson, or as you guys might know him as, Dan. He went up to me and said, "Hey, Frank made this new video," and he says,
It would be nice if they had a little locking feature where they did, close together.
"You want to give it a shot?" Sure. Why not? And that's how it started. So my first prototype looks something like this. And I know it just looks like two rings, but I promise this is integral to the final design. Using Fusion, we can get a much better view of the ball. Now, this was my first prototype, and I did a lot of experiments with this. The way this was intended to work was to put the two halves together and just slide it on. That way it couldn't move. This is my second prototype. Now, I know it doesn't look like much of a difference, but these are at 85% instead of the regular 100%. And these were meant to be inside the ball instead of on the ball. Originally, with the first prototype, the downside was I had to print the ball all over again, and it would have been better if I could print something in place that could just go inside the ball with maybe a little hot glue. So that's how I came up with my final design. Now this brings us to our final design, which looks a little something like this. If you take a look on the inside, you'll see there are two rings that have already been printed. These do not print onto the ball, which makes it so you don't have to print the whole ball again. On these rings, you'll see two 7mm magnets on each one. If you line these up correctly and make sure they don't repel from each other, put it together, you should get something that goes like this. Back in Fusion once more, this was my final design. In this design, I finally got the holes for the magnets correct because the last two times I had got them either too big or too small. The main difference between this design and the last design, besides the magnet holes, was these had arcs. These arcs gave it more structural support depending on which half you put it in. And that's how I made the best PalSphere. Now, if I could change something about this design, instead of doing two magnets on each, I would have done four. Because honestly, two magnets is not enough. Because if I just shake it a little too hard, that happens. So I feel like if I added two more magnets on each side, maybe here and here, it would have had a lot more support. But nonetheless, it was still a great design in my opinion. And I love the way it came out after I painted it. It looked beautiful. I don't even play Pal World, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I hope Frank will use the design, at least in his new PalSpheres. That's it. I hope you enjoyed my video, and happy building.